I said at the top of the program it's been a bad day for a couple of scare campaigns. I dealt with the nuclear scare campaign. The other scare that should be put to bed by now is the voice scare campaign. The whole point of the No campaign has been to promote fear about the voice. Opposition politicians and others have been out there saying it's not really about a voice, it's really about treaty or reparations or even changing the date of Australia Day. In the official referendum pamphlet, the No case uses the word risky, and it also highlights the voice as a first step towards treaty. By definition, it says an agreement between governments, not groups of people. And then it goes on to say how many activists are campaigning to abolish Australia Day. Now, the reason I've always said this is a scare is twofold. First and foremost, the voice is advisory only. So whatever it recommends on all these matters, only governments can act. Only Parliament has the power. And secondly, all these issues are happening anyway. All these pushes will be made regardless of the voice. In fact, state governments are negotiating treaties as we speak. So it's hard to see how a voice will dramatically shift those debates. And the pretense of these scare campaigns was exposed for all to see yesterday on the ABC when the leading No campaigner, Warren Mundine, admitted, firstly, that he is one of the ones who wants to change the date of Australia Day.
Do you still want to change the date?
Yeah, I'm a change the date person.
Why?
OK, so even though they run change the date as a voice scare campaign, some in the No camp actually want to do the same thing. But it gets worse. Their main scare, of course, has been treaties. As I said, I think this is completely wrong-headed, but it's probably been their most effective scare. Vote for the voice, they say, and you get treaty. But it turns out that Mundine supports treaties too.
We don't need another body of bureaucracy. We need to recognise those traditional owners.
So we're more likely to get treaties if people vote no?
Yeah, because then we have to do the hard. On the 15th of October, if it's a no vote, that's when the real work starts.
There you go. More treaties faster if you vote no. So there you go. Treaties, as I said, are being negotiated by state governments now, and there are other agreements being made between Indigenous groups and governments under native title laws. So there is nothing to fear, just something to manage. And the leading No campaigner supports treaties. Now, other No campaigners are trying to tidy up for Mundine, but they can't unsay what he said. A lot of No campaigners, including coalition MPs, are very angry with him. He's upset their campaign. So where is the scare campaign now? What do they want us to be scared about now? I reckon it's time for the Yes campaign to get on the front foot in this voice debate and expose the errors and the deliberate deceptions of the No campaign. I think they've wanted to campaign on the big positive picture rather than getting into a tough political battle. And that would have been fine if this was a bipartisan campaign, but the day the coalition decided to oppose the voice and run hard against it, that was the day this campaign became hyper-partisan, a real battle, a do-or-die struggle between Labor and the coalition. For instance, as I highlighted last week, Senator Jacinta Nampijinpa Price is completely wrong to deny that the voice will be advisory only. This flies in the face of the constitutional wording, the Solicitor General's advice and the advice of former Chief Justices of the High Court and law professors who all confirm, of course, it's advisory only. This is a central point because it's on this deception that the No campaign hangs all of its scares. Once you know the voice can only ask the government for action and all the decisions, all the power remains with the government, it puts the lie to all the scares. But most of the media and many in the Yes campaign have instead focused on a pointless culture war debate about whether colonisation has led to lasting trauma for Indigenous people or not. This is a distraction from the very real issues we all know exist today. We are not voting for or against colonisation. The question before us is whether or not we should recognise Indigenous people in the Constitution through the practical reform of a voice. Senator Nampijinpa Price needs to correct her erroneous scaremongering about the voice being more than advisory, because that is misleading the voting public. And Warren Mundine, well, he should be featured in Yes campaign ads, because he has revealed that two of the No campaign's big scares are just pretense. This debate needs to get serious. It needs to be about the facts rather than the scare campaigns and the culture wars.